First of all, cellos are not made for metal music. Don't try that at home.
Metallica's music has very special beauty. It's very rough and raw, but it's very melodic. And maybe that's the reason why it feels very natural to play it with cello as well. We are classically trained cellists. We brought a lot of people from classical world to understand Metallica. They say that the music is great, it's so beautiful. Hey, it's Metallica songs, you know? I would say Ride the Lightning is my favorite. It has a passionate feel of the playing, and it's a great example how dark music can actually give you positive energy that can really be very healing music. And that's something that people who don't understand metal music, they don't understand that, that the dark music can be even more healing than very light, easygoing music.
Ride the Lightning was, okay, here's our first album with Cliff as a writer. He brought a grandness to it that, wow, this should be giant.
You know, Cliff was just different. There was an autonomy in his personality and his character that I think we responded to.
There was this punk rock celebration, but there was a sophistication in his playing, you know, harmonies, theory, melody. Cliff was able to take all that schooling and bring it into our world and say, hey, that's a great tool. You can use that to shine these weapons we got, man.
In heavy metal, everything's already been done before, but we're trying to avoid as many of the cliches as we can.
Cliff had a wide variety of influences. He liked a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally think that Metallica would like, and that sort of influence certainly, you know, played a huge part in what they were doing. Well, certainly in the melodic part.
That dude was listening to all kinds of music when everyone else was only listening to metal.
He'd be pounding on his car steering wheel, destroying it, listening to, you know, We Are 138 by the Misfits. And then the next thing on the cassette would be R.E.M.
ZZ Top, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Simon & Garfunkel, classic music, some country stuff.
And then the Misfits again.
That musicality that he had inside of him really started to shine, certainly on the next record, and opened Metallica's songwriting up in a big way.
You know, a lot of Ride the Lightning, it came writing about being outcasts and about lack of control of relating to the situation around you and so on and so forth.
Growing up as much as we can. Now we're going to write some new lyrics. Where are we now and how have we evolved? And now that Cliff's in the band and Kirk.
Cliff and Kirk both just loved to read. Horror, 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 horror. Cliff was reading other shit too.
He liked horror, he liked H.P. Lovecraft, he was way into zombie movies.
I remember watching a movie with Cliff sitting there. It was the 10 Commandments, and right when the fog came out, you know, one of the plagues, he's like, whoa, look at that, it's creepy death. Like, dude, write it down.
We just do pretty much what we want to do, and we get away with it.
One thing that Metallica's always done over their whole career is they've taken a lot of risks. Even with Ride the Lightning, an acoustic guitar is a huge risk.
In the underground scene, the bands who played fastest were the ones that, you know, were quote-unquote the best ones. And, you know, here's Metallica who did Kill 'Em All, and then their new album comes out and there's a ballad on it.
You know, there was this huge outcry, you know, with Ride the Lightning when they came to song 4, you know, and that started with acoustic guitars. It's like, oh my God, you know, they've lost their minds.
I never looked at Fade to Black as a ballad. The textures are different, but it's still as heavy as anything else.
You know, it's a perfect build of here's an acoustic part, then it gets heavy, then it gets super heavy, and then it's amazing.
Deep Purple's Child in Time, Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, Judas Priest's, you know, Beyond the Realm of Death. They were all just sort of what we call ballads, and it was always in the cards. So it was just part of our kind of evolution.
The lyrical development was leaps and bounds above just simply violence, and they were based on kind of bigger subjects than we had been used to hearing from them. And it was like, you know, we were growing at the same time and they were growing at the same time.
They come from being an underground, really great heavy metal band to being like a real true, this band could play arenas.
Do you all know Cliff Burton over here? Everyone, hi Cliff, how you doing?
So Ride the Lightning came out, and you know, people who got into Metallica because of Kill 'Em All felt betrayed that Metallica did a ballad. It lost them fans. But at the same time, they got a lot more fans. It was a Day in the Green festival with 50,000 people at Oakland Stadium. We kind of almost couldn't comprehend what we had seen because, you know, these were the guys we had met 3 years ago when they were pimply-faced metalheads like us, and here they were, like they looked like rock gods on that stage.
I certainly had that moment on that tour thinking our friends are going to be one of the biggest bands in the world.